Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. This is a mini. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
All right, here we are. It's a family episode. Last week we had Dana here. That was a fun time.
I watched the John Mulaney's new Netflix special, Baby J.
I watched that as well.
It might be one of the funniest hours of stand-up comedy ever.
Really?
Oh,
It was pretty good.
Loved it.
I liked it, yeah.
There were like 10 times where I laughed hard out loud just sitting on my couch.
I didn't count my laugh.
Oh, but just
I did,
cackling like a little girl. I thought it was really good. And it's all about his last couple days as a drug addict, the intervention, the rehab. And
The intervention part was really fun.
Yeah. And then a little bit of the post rehab.
A star-studded intervention.
Yeah. It's really just phenomenal. And he's very funny.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it.
I've liked all his other.
Yeah, and this is on Netflix, so it's my mom texted me yesterday because I told her over the weekend to watch it, and she was like,
liked it?
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, that John McGovern guy, he's so funny." I was like, I knew exactly what she was talking about too.
I watched the new Broken Lizard film, Quasi. It's based on Quasimodo, that whole story, and it was fun.
The Hunchback.
Yeah, it was a fun story.
Who's Broken Lizard? Is that
That's the Beer Fest
the
guys,
the
Super
state guys?
Troopers. No, Super Troopers, Beer Fest.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, okay, yeah.
Steve Lem, Jay Chandra.
Jay Chandrakar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, it was good.
Yeah. Kevin Heffernan. That's the other
Kevin Heffernan.
What's that on?
Yeah.
one. Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah, it was on Hulu.
that.
It was fun. 90 minutes, stupid. You know, if you're in the mood for that Broken Lizard kind of humor, Beer Fest.
Yeah, they definitely have a
Super
type.
Troopers. You know, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I recommend it.
I like them.
If you like that kind of humor.
I like them. I like it a lot.
Did you watch anything, Korean or otherwise?
Yeah, so I started, I'm 13 episodes out of 16 in on Strong Girl Bong Soon. And it's about a strong girl named
Bong
Bong
Soon.
Soon.
Oh, I thought bong, like she was smoking a bong or something.
No.
Soon she's smoking a
Soon
bong.
she's smoking a bong.
She was born with like super strength, and
Oh, of course.
it's fun when she beats up people.
I bet.
Is it a comedy or
It's comedy drama because
Marvel
there's a
type comedy?
serial kidnapper rape. I don't know if he's a rapist or not, but he's kidnaps women.
you have attached that?
That's why I said humor, rape. He got, yeah.
No, it's good.
I watched Murder Mystery 2, the new Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston. I think
I saw that, yeah.
I think a couple weeks ago I talked about
I
how
think I might have mentioned it a couple weeks ago when
maybe
I watched it.
we were going to watch it. Michelle's mom was in, and we're like, "Hey, let's watch that," because it said it was new. And then we started watching it, and 10 minutes in, we're like, "Haven't we seen this already?" And it was the first one.
You watched the first
Accidentally
one back.
watched
So then we
the
watched the
first
first one again, and then we just watched the new one. It is equal to the first one in its level of stupidity, and there are a couple funny bits.
Again, you got to
in
be
it.
in the mood for an Adam Sandler movie,
I mean,
and it worked.
I don't know if Adam Sandler and I have a long history of, obviously Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison are all-time greats, and then he really fell apart for me in the middle there. And then he became like the straight guy, and everybody else around him was like the weirdo, and I didn't like that either. So now this is kind of like he's a little funny, a little bit of a straight man. So I don't know. It's good.
It's hit and miss now.
Yeah.
Either really
And
comes
it's got
out with
Jennifer Aniston
yeah.
in it too, so that's always good.
Sometimes it's better when he has a lot more guest stars. He didn't have many guest stars in this one, but
Yeah, it was fine.
yeah.
I don't recommend it or disrecommend it. I'm like, if you got nothing better to do, I'm really excited to hear about your weekend last weekend. What did you do last weekend, Jay?
Oh, I went to Chiller Theater.
Theater. He went
I went to the theater.
Where was that?
At the Hilton in Parsippany, New Jersey.
Oh,
I spent the evening there. So I went Friday evening, and my first guest that I met was Priscilla Presley.
Damn.
So I met Priscilla Presley. She was so sweet.
I'm so surprised. I mean, her daughter just died like
I
a
know.
month ago. Like the fact
It was
that
very
she's doing
strange.
that.
I didn't even if Lisa Marie didn't pass, I still thought that was a strange thing for her to do. I would never have guessed for her to do this.
She probably doesn't need the money, right?
I wouldn't think
she's
so.
got Elvis money.
No,
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But so I got up there, and after they took the picture, she her handler takes the picture, and she was talking to me and everything. She's like, "Nice to meet you," on that, and then she said, "Let me see the picture." She wanted to see the picture. She said, "That's a little blurry. Let's retake it." So she.
I thought you meant the picture getting signed.
Wow.
She suggested to take the picture again on the phone. So I was like, it's cool. And I was like, take the right picture, dude. The Priscilla Presley thing.
How long did you wait for her?
Well, she was the first person I got in line for, and I got tickets where I could get in early.
Okay.
So the floor opened up at 6 to regular tickets.
6 a.m.
6 p.m.
Oh, wow.
It was 6 p.m. I got there in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I got there a little after 5. I went downstairs and I found out like where people were set up. So I was like, okay, they're there. So then I found where Priscilla was, and then I got in line for Priscilla, and I was maybe like the 30th person in line.
Okay.
And I probably waited about 45 minutes. It wasn't too bad.
That's nice.
And as that line, I went right past Mark Holton, who is he played Francis, and he was Big Adventure.
Oh, was he
really?
in line right
he was
next
He was next to Priscilla.
was
His setup was there. I didn't get his autograph or anything.
Do you think
he
like
looks? I won't, because he does not look
at
anything
all
like that. He
Yeah.
lost so much weight, and he just looks like a completely different person.
Do you think Priscilla Presley's sitting there going like, why am I... Who's
She couldn't
this
see him
guy?
the way it was set
Oh,
up.
okay.
So it was, yeah.
It's like they don't have like at least someone from Star Trek next to me. I got this guy. Like, what's the story with that?
So then, after Priscilla Presley,
And you got her book signed, right?
yeah, I got her book signed. Elvis and Me, it's called. So, and that book is out of print too. So,
How old is that book?
I don't know what year it was. I forget.
Did you buy it there or did you bring it?
No,
with
I
you?
bought that off of eBay.
You had it with you.
Yeah, I bought that a couple weeks ago.
Like, what did they have for her to sign? Did they have like?
They had a whole bunch of her 8x10s, like from her Naked Gun
I was
films.
gonna say you got to have her with the beat.
Pictures of her and Elvis, her wedding picture, stuff like that.
That would be so creepy to have her sign her wedding picture.
People had her signing. She was signing Elvis albums, but there were certain things she wouldn't sign. Some albums she wouldn't sign, and some albums she would sign. I think some
wonder
albums that
why.
she was affiliated with or associated with. I think, but
I wonder
some
what-
things she wouldn't sign. I think she said out of respect she wouldn't
okay.
sign. Yeah, so
She wouldn't sign like Elvis's death certificate, like a copy of that or something, or
Probably.
a picture of Elvis on the toilet.
So my next get was Richard Dreyfuss.
I was insane. Like, why would he need to be there?
He doesn't need to be there either.
I think some
Those
of these-
two must just like.
I think some people
meeting
just
with
like to
fans.
do it. I think some
Yeah.
people just like to honestly
I think
do that.
like to get back and give to the fans. Sometimes
Yeah.
they could do, but
Because I mean, he looked happy.
he looked pissed off when I got in line.
Oh, really?
When I first got in line, he looked like he was like he didn't want to be there. And I saw him get there. He came out on a scooter, and I heard that he has bad knees, and it's also easier for him to get around in a convention in a hotel like that to get from one end of the hotel to the other. So he's on a scooter, but
I could use that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
but
Plus, he spent all that time up in space when the Close Encounter aliens took him away.
Oh
so.
yeah.
so he signed my Jaws poster that I had signed also from the first victim, the lady Susan Backline is her name. She signed it. So I have two.
When I looked at your picture and I came up to you and said, "What? There's like something scribbled above his name. What is that?" You're like, "It's someone else's name." I was like, "Oh." So I went back and Googled it, and I was like, "Oh, it's the girl that got at first in Jaws." I was like, "That's pretty cool."
By the time I got up to him, he was like in a better mood and he was joking around and laughing and everything.
How long did you wait for him?
I waited about 30 minutes for him. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad either.
And he was being lazy at sometimes because at one point I just saw him like his hand was just like out like this, like he was like signing like that almost. And one thing he signed somebody's those Funko Pops.
Okay.
And he signed it Dreyf, and he said that's what I go by now, Drafe. He was joking. He made a
Oh,
joke. It was
shit.
funny though.
Like-
But and you see the pictures. He wrote on there Dreyfus, but his whole signature was on there. It was
Oh, my
funny
God.
though. But
like,
he was
dude.
making, but that's what I'm saying. So, like he started making jokes. So he was like, he looked like he didn't want to be there at first, but then by the time he got,
Once he got settled in.
yeah. So then after that, I went over and I met the son and daughter from The Sopranos and Adriana, excuse me, not Andrea. I'm
Nice.
thinking of Andrea Zuckerman.
Oh, okay.
But no, so I met AJ Soprano, Meadow Soprano, and then Adriana La Serva, I think her name was on The Sopranos. La Serva.
Drea D'Amato.
Drea de Mateo. And she was so sweet too, man. She smelled so good too.
I wonder what.
But she wasn't the best smelling. Somebody else smelled better. I'll tell you that later.
It was Richard Dreyfuss. I don't know what she's up to recently. I haven't seen her.
Well, last I saw her in was Sons of Anarchy. She was big in
was
that
she in
too.
that? Okay, I didn't.
But I didn't. I don't know what she's been in since then.
And
yeah.
Meadow, I think is sick in some way. She has like MS or something. Like
I don't know
that.
if she has that or lupus, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But she was her and AJ or Robert Eiler they had a podcast together for a while.
Yes.
So I don't know if they still do or not.
Because I remember when Sharippa and Michael Imperioli had their podcast, they had them on together to promote the podcast and stuff like that. So that's fun.
So that was all I got for night one.
And you got one big Sopranos thing for them?
Yeah, I
got
got a Sopranos
one
poster.
The one that all of them are in?
They're all on it. There's a bunch of other people on there too that I could still get signatures for, but some I obviously can't get signatures
There's
for.
two big ones you can't get, yeah.
Yeah.
Better hurry up and get Dominic
Chianese. Yeah. He has done these in the past, but...
I mean, he's got to be like 100 years old.
He's got to be
in his
90s.
An old man in The Sopranos. That hasn't been on the air for like 20 years now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 years.
Who was he?
Junior Soprano, Tony's
Junior.
Did you watch Sopranos?
No.
Oh, okay. He was like
He played Tony's...
He's Tony's uncle.
Was he bald?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a really good singing voice.
He has, and
he sings a lot.
I think he plays the violin and stuff like that,
yeah.
But he's got a really good voice too, yeah.
But he was like the main, I guess, antagonist to Tony early on and stuff like that because they both wanted to be the boss.
Yeah,
when
and then he was too sick.
Died.
He was too old and too sick, too frail to be the boss.
Yeah, his last couple of years were just him being like an old sick man. But
and then Bobby.
It's great the fact that was
Bobby
15 years ago when he's
taking
still alive.
That's how Bobby moved up so fast because he was
taking care of Junior. Yeah.
No way he would have moved up that fast if he wasn't. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't.
He was just the driver. That's what they say at that when they're deciding who they're going to whack at the end.
All right, so that was night one, and then
and you stayed over in Parsippany.
Yep, I stayed overnight, so I woke up, and then at 10 a.m. is when the next day starts. But I also had the early ticket, so I could get down there at 9. So I got down there around 9:30.
How many people there are getting in early?
A lot of people are
like
going
hundreds
of
people.
Yeah, so you want to get in line, yeah. But so then I was like, all right, I'm walking around, and Chaz Palminteri was only going to be there Saturday.
Nice.
And it's 9:30. He was already there. So I went over to Chaz Palminteri, and I met him.
Before he was even supposed to
be. He was already at the table.
Did he have a line or anything?
Somebody was in front of me, and then they went, and then I went.
And he was just like,
he's like,
I'm not waiting till 10?
Yeah, he just started. Yeah, he was like, let's do it, you know?
Sometimes you lose a draft pick if you do that. You know, you can't do that kind of stuff.
But he's the one who smelled the best.
Really?
He smelled so good. I was like, wow.
What did he smell like?
I can't explain it. His cologne just smelled so good. I was like, damn, it made you happy.
You got him early. You know, you don't want to smell the people around 5 o'clock when they've been sweating there all day, shaking nerds' hands for hours.
Although there are some that you would want to, and that I'm coming up to her.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
All right, so then after that, I was walking around a little bit, and I said, you know
what did you get Chaz to sign?
I got he signed a picture of a movie he was in 1996.
Bronx Tale?
No, I didn't get that one. It was I forget the name of the movie. It begins with an F. Frailty? No, I forget. Faulty, something like that.
Faulty Towers? Was he in there?
I forget the name of it. He's got a gun in his hand in it, but it's a really cool picture.
I love him, man. He's like one of those guys that
he's just so
always
cool.
Been
just like so.
I couldn't name
laid back.
I couldn't name like 5 things he's in, but like he's one of those guys. Like when he's in
it, I'm great on the few episodes of Modern Family he was in. He was Al.
I know Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill's friend. You know.
I was listening to our Valley Girl podcast at work the other day, and I referred to Katie Seagal as Peg Bundy like 4 times. I was like, she's done other things.
And then after that, I met the cast from the Wonder Years.
Wow.
So I met Dan Lauria and Allie Mills. And I was talking to Allie Mills because I know who her husband was, Orson Bean, who just passed away a couple of years ago. So I was talking to her about her husband and how...
Were they still married when he died? Were they married for a long, long time?
Yeah, they were married for quite a while. And then I said to her, I loved your episode. I loved his episode of Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. And she's like, I was there. I was like, I know. I heard you in the background. She's like, oh, we loved Gilbert. He was so sweet. And I was like, that was sad about him. So we talked about Gilbert. She came out from behind the table, gave me a big hug.
Wow.
You know, and then she signed my picture. It was a picture of the whole family, all 5 of them.
Right.
So I got everybody's signature except Fred Savage. So I got Dan Lauria.
Savage.
Dan Lauria said, he was like, where are you from? I said, Jersey. He's like, I could tell in your voice. He's from Long Island. Then I met Jason Hervey. Somebody Andy quotes quite often on the podcast here.
What do I say? I
do,
said, Red action.
Ready. Yeah.
Action from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep.
And he was also the younger brother of Lorraine in Back to the Future.
Yes.
And
Yep, he
Marty
had
McFly.
small-
I guess he's
small role.
Marty McFly's uncle.
Because you could get he was signing some Back to the Future
Oh, was he?
posters,
Okay.
and I saw Billy Zane signing some Back to the Future posters as well.
Was Billy Zane there
Billy
too?
Zane was there.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I got Jason Hervey. He wrote "Yo Butthead" on the picture, which is pretty cool because that's what he always called Kevin, you know. And then Olivia Diabo, Karen. She played Karen Arnold, Kevin's older sister on that, and she was she smelled really good too. But she was super sweet. She had on this like hot pink shirt, and she had on a suit jacket over it. But she took that off for the picture and everything. And
How old is she? Like she's our age, or
probably
like
a little. I think she was like a year or two older than
Okay.
you. Yeah.
So she's still
But she was real sweet and
she's
real
still
nice.
in our weight class.
And that was my Chiller Theater.
So how long did it take? That sounds like you might have been done early. If you got
I was done early on Saturday because I met my cousin there too. He came for the day.
Okay.
And he hung out for a little bit. He got what he was getting. He wanted to buy some. He bought a couple of things. His friend, she went and met Billy Zane, I think.
Okay.
And
Was Billy Zane's line long?
he had a decent line.
Yeah?
Yeah. He had
I don't know what it gets on by him.
he had a good
What was he in?
He was in Titanic.
Titanic.
Oh, okay.
He was also in God damn it. What was the HBO Twilight
Back to the
film?
Future?
No, he was in Back to the Future. That's right. The Tales from the Crypt. He was in that first movie that they
Oh, the
did.
movie? Okay.
Judge Demon Knight? I don't even remember
remember
what
the
it's
name
called
of that,
now, but
yeah.
I remember him being in that because he still had hair then.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he was one of those guys that
he had
did a lot
He had
in,
a decent line. I could have gotten another Jaws signature. Lance Hendricks was there, the other deputy. Not Hendrickson.
Oh, it's like Bishop from Alien.
His name is Hendricks.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
this guy's
all
last
right,
name is
all right.
Hendricks.
Okay.
He was the deputy in there, but I didn't get his signature.
Yeah, because he's the deputy.
But I mean, just to add it to that
I know,
poster,
I know.
so I'll eventually, if I can.
You're never going to get Roy Scheider or Robert Shaw, so it's like you're
unless
never
I
gonna get them
buy
all.
one that's already out there.
That's true. That's true.
I'd have to
I
get
can
that.
sign it for you. Like I signed my George Carlin book a year after he died.
What
That's awesome, man.
That's-
So
it was
I,
fun.
the only other thing I actually did watch this week was Sweet Tooth
Sweet Tooth? Never heard of it.
on Netflix.
Did you watch season one?
Michelle and I watched like the first 3 episodes, and I'm not watching anymore because
I tried watching.
I couldn't
so.
tell if this was supposed to be a drama or a comedy or what, but it's God damn it. Will Forte is the dad, and there's some kind of like mutant gene, and every baby born has some kind of animal characteristics. His baby has horns. But there's like lion babies and all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
And he goes out and they're killing these babies because
They're mutants.
yeah, they're mutants and the world's falling apart and all that kind of stuff. It's like post-apocalyptic kind of. So he saves his child, goes out in the woods, just the two of them to live. And then, of course, because it's the show, it is the dad dies. Now the kid's on his own. And I don't know. I just could not wrap my head around whether this was like a Disney kind of show where it's like,
You watched it?
I watched the first couple episodes and I couldn't.
yeah,
get into it.
I won't watch anymore. I don't know. I think we started watching because season 2 just came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, if there's a season 2, then that means I guess the first season's pretty good, but I'm not recommending it at all. Not that you watch it, but Ted Lasso, but Sam's dad on Ted Lasso is like this kid's mentor after the dad dies. And it's just kind of like they're just going across the country kind of thing. It's a just like every other, we got to get from here to there kind of thing, but he's a mutant kid, so he's got to like keep him hidden from the marauders and the, everybody else. Yeah. I've already spoken about it too much.
There was one other thing.
Like
There was one other thing I watched this week, and that's you can find it on Spreaker and everywhere else you can get our podcast. Apple, Google, go ahead, download, subscribe, rate, give us a good review. I don't know what else to say here. Usually I have other things to say, so I'm going to just say it's The Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. It's been an exciting and new mini podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy, AEGonzo1 on Twitter, AEGonzo1970 on Instagram.
And I'm Ryan, Papa Bad Kitty.
Bye.